Now for this gratitude meditation, I'm going to start with some grounding in the present moment and with the breath, just so that we're going to a bit of a neutral place before we try and get somewhere positive. I've found myself that if I'm in a lower mood or a bad mood, it's really hard to go over to thinking positive. It's quite a hard turn to make, but getting to neutral allows me to get to a place that makes that more accessible. And if I'm in a good mood, or if you're in a good mood, this little detour into neutrality should be calming, if anything. So to start with, we can review our posture. Make sure that our spine is nice and straight, the shoulders stacked over the hips, releasing any tension you find, letting the jaws soften and the tongue float up to the back of the front teeth. And from here you can just make note of any sounds you hear in your environment. Any smells maybe, tastes hanging out in the mouth. If you have a soft gaze right now, you can make note of any sights and any feelings in the body. We'll just keep everything centered on what's happening right now. You can do a body scan for sensations by working from the feet up to the torso, down to the hands, and then up through the head. Or you can try to make note of whole body awareness, everything that's going on right now in your body. And try to note any pleasant sensations that might be there, even if it's just the stillness right now, the softness of the cushion that you're on. The air temperature around you. And you can shift your focus now to the sensations of the breath in the body, in the torso, up in the chest, or around the mouth and the nose. And you can pick whatever area has the most palpable sensations or the most pleasant sensations to do with your breath. And keep your attention focused on that area while we count 10 breaths. Starting on the next exhale. Now that we've got our attention nicely calm and centered on those breath sensations, just like to invite you to return to those at any point in this practice if you need to. So to start with, we'll come back to those physical sensations and think about your body and anything that you're grateful for that it does. There are some very general things that you can think of, like the fact that your heart is beating all the time to keep you alive. Your breath is giving you energy and oxygen. That your stomach and other internal organs take food in to help you build more of your body and give you energy. That your brain and sensory organs allow you to experience your environment and take in everything that's happening in the present through your senses. That your skeleton works to hold you up and your muscles work to move you around through space, whatever that looks like for you. That your skin protects you from the outside world. And keeps you warm, along with that subcutaneous layer of fat. This is your one body, the only one you're going to have in your life. And it does so much work to keep you alive through that lifetime. And every body is different. Some have flaws. And sometimes we see others who we wish we were more like, maybe. But there are specific things you can be grateful about your body. Maybe it's the color of your eyes or hair. Maybe it's a dimple or a freckle here or there. Maybe it's something your body allows you to do, like stretch in a certain way or move in a certain way. Whatever that is, take a moment to feel gratitude towards your body for what it does. And anything unique about it that's really makes you you. Now we'll widen our field a bit more to think of our home. And again, there are some general things that your home does for you. It keeps out the elements like rain and cold or snow, wind, and bugs. Although some may get in. It has heat running through it, electricity running through it to power all our electronic devices. It has water running through it to help us wash and get rid of things, but also stay hydrated and cook. And it has things that are specific to your home, whatever those are. Might be a spot that you really like relaxing in, or somewhere that gives you a sense of peace and calm, or an area that allows you to do things that you really enjoy doing. Maybe where your home is situated is something you're grateful for. Whatever that is, you can take a moment again to appreciate your home for what it does, what it allows you to do. We'll extend that even wider again to our neighborhood. And again, there are some general things that are quite common to most neighborhoods. There might be somewhere where you can get food that's nearby. Or Maybe there's parks or libraries that you can visit, or even community centers, gyms, stuff like that. Maybe there are some shops you like visiting. Or if you're more out in the country, then maybe you have a stream or a particular patch of forest or nature nearby. Maybe a tree you really like. And maybe a road that takes you somewhere else to all those other things that I mentioned before. There are any neighbors that you are appreciative or in your life. You can take a moment to explore that. Or if there are friends and family that you're really grateful for, call to mind those people right now. These might be people in your immediate family, parents, siblings, or maybe it's a bit wider, an aunt, an uncle, grandparents, cousins, or maybe your chosen family, your friends, are the ones you're very appreciative for. Perhaps there are some people you work with who you appreciate being there, or who are involved in hobbies that you enjoy. Or maybe there's some pets or kids in your life that you're really grateful for. Now we're going to widen out to think of some abstract concepts, and bear with me here. But I want you to think about certain things that exist in the world that are not as tangible, but we can see them acting out. Maybe we forget that they're there when we're not in the greatest mood. But love is a force in the world, and we know it's there when we see it. So we can spend a moment in gratitude for that being something that exists in the world. There's so many beautiful things. There's grace, beauty, joy, kindness, harmony, empathy, truth, wisdom, peace. All of these are abstract, yes, but things that we can find in our lives to enrich them. So if you want to wander back over any of those groups, you can kind of go back to the people, places, abstracts, or self. Or you can spend a few more moments just appreciating your breath for being here until you'd like to move on. So the art today is a very simple design. It's just a couple leaves going into these leaf decals, decorative elements with a circle and some stars. And I'm going to start by using this tool to make my circle. You can always use a cup or another round object if you don't have one of these guides to use. But this does make things a lot easier and straighter. Although I do have a tendency sometimes to go on an angle one way and another angle the other way, so I can get that sort of effect where it looks like someone's dragged a cup with condensation on it. I'm just going to go back in, thicken that line a bit more. There we go. That got rid of my cup stain effect. And go in now and start outlining these leaves. Might start somewhere a little farther away from my art so I don't get any dragging or smudges when I get to that. So just go and do these little leaves. With little designs like this where I'm following a pattern that I've already set out in light lines, what I sometimes try to do is follow the outside of it with whatever I'm using, because that'll leave me sort of the shape on the inside that looks more towards what the design was going for. Because if I do this more centrally or towards the inside of that line, it can close off the shape, since I'm using a tool that's far thicker than the very thin lines on this page. You can probably see the difference as I'm making these. And since this is a very repetitive action, I'm going to use my breathing as a way of keeping myself nicely grounded in the present moment. And also my posture and my sensations, the sensations I'm feeling in my hand right now. If I keep track of that, I usually find I'm able to stop myself from getting hand cramps before they happen, which otherwise I'm very liable to get from just holding the pencil a little bit harder than maybe I should. It's amazing how tension can creep into our bodies from very simple things like drawing. But if you're concentrating very hard, especially if you're trying to get the right effect, then that mental effort can very easily transfer into physical effort. for very simple designs has a lot of repeating elements. And I find with stuff like that, you can start to get a little bit mentally tired. So if I notice that I'm not making quite the shapes that I want to make anymore, then I'll just stop and move on to another part of the drawing to give myself a rest. But I think I can finish off these last little guys. There, I am going to leave off the other leafy parts until after I get some nice big swaths of color with my markers though. Because I'm going to add in a top layer of color. If I get time. And there's always a little spot of color that collects wherever you leave off with markers, so it can help to plan where you want that little darker spot to end up. With leaves, I like to do it somewhere near the stem or a connection point, because then that kind of follows the plant's anatomy a little bit. Now I want to use this shade of blue, and I'm now thinking that this might be a lot for what I'm trying to color, especially in 10 minutes. I'll just start with kind of an outline. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually scribble in the rest there and then use one of my blue pencils to blend that. Well, there's my 10-minute timer. So I'm going to leave off here for now, and I might circle back to do a little bit more in the writing part. Okay, so now for this prompt. The prompt is, write about the things you enjoyed this spring. What were you most grateful for? And now you can see why I introduced this with a gratitude meditation, because hopefully something came up during that you can put down. It doesn't have to be specifically spring related. It can just be sort of a general thing. Sometimes thinking of those general things can help us narrow down into specific things. Forgot what I was trying to do here. Good thing I use erasable things, isn't it? Okay, so start kind of thinking about what I want to jot down. I'm going to work through the same kind of pattern that I did before with going from body things. So I had a back injury in the winter that I've been rehabbing, and now that my back feels 100%, I'm pretty grateful for that. And of course, since I've been exercising more, lost a little weight. And in that vein too, gone for some nice warm walks. And tried some new food. In my neighborhood, of course. Let's see. Oh, my plantings are going well. So put down my seeds are sprouting. That's something I'm very grateful for. And see what else. While I muse over that, I'm gonna fill in a bit more of this. So, also went for some fun dancing and met some new friends so far this spring, so that was lovely. Trying to think if there's anything more specific in my house or neighborhood. Can't think of anything quite there at the moment, but my house has been pretty good for a while, so pretty grateful for it on balance most of the time. So I suppose I could just throw in something about that once I add a couple more scribbles to this. Give some motion behind those stars. So, yeah. I'll put down my beautiful home with some more general things that I'm grateful for. And my partner, who I'm always grateful for being in my life. I have wonderful friends. The old and the new. And have a wonderful family, so I'll get them here on this gratitude list. I thought about writing it, and I didn't actually write it. Oops. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. My nice neighborhood. There's some not great parts about it, according to some, but I like this area where I'm at. And if I try and widen that out, I'm gonna say some fun online communities that I engage in are things that I'm grateful for, and I've been engaging a little bit more in some lately, so that's always good. I'll wander back to this now as I'm pondering some more things. I suppose I could always put down some of the things from our gratitude meditation that I had mentioned earlier. Like grace. Spelled that kind of funny. Oh well. Beauty. Joy. Love and kindness. And I know these are all synonyms, but I'm going to put empathy and compassion as well, because you know what? They're similar, but they're a little different. We'll put down truth and wisdom. And of course, peace. Something I look for in so many of these exercises. The sense of calm and peace, which I definitely get. Something very calming about sitting and coloring and making little squiggles, answering simple little prompts like this. I add a few more stars than what my design came with, because I like them. Just because I like them. And I'm almost at the end time, but there it is. All right. So now I'll move on to the crafting part. So now, for my crafting, I've got some tapes selected for areas I want to paint in some extra color. So I'll start with that. Sometimes I kind of line them up where I want them to go to make sure I'm going to have room. Of course, they're being a bit unruly. So I'll just take a mental measurement, and I guess, you know what, I'm just going to overlap these guys because I don't feel like being too fussy. Okay, maybe I'll be a little fussy. Try and make somewhat straight lines. Do really like to think of it as painting with tape, because still adding color and adding stickers and stuff is also adding drawings, so it's kind of all a different art form when you get down to it. Even the writing part involves writing with symbols. So it has an artistic component. Leave it to an artist, though, to tell you that everything's actually just a different form of art. If I'm in my writing brain, I'm sure that mental process would be able to convince you that everything is just a form of writing. Did you not know? Artists are just writing with symbols instead of with words. All right. Now, forgot to take this guy out. It's ticky-tackies, so it can be the first one to go in. Want that to go up there. Like that. Overlapping. I also did want to get this door in here, so it's going to be overlapping that. I want to put this guy underneath it as sort of a little surprise. I still want him somewhere about midway on this. Speaking of midway, that's my midway bell. And to get this one somewhere out there, I think. Yeah. Okay, So now all I have left is this door, which I'm going to put on with what I keep calling butterfly hinges because I keep just cutting off a couple pieces of tape. This tape that has butterflies on it, and using those to make my door hinges. I know it's kind of a silly concept, but I have fun with it, so I'm going to keep doing it until I run out of butterfly tape, or doors, or both. But I am grateful for this butterfly tape. I'm grateful that I get to use it, so I'm going to use it. I'll cover up that moon down there, so I'll put that there. Alright, now I'll reinforce my hinges like a good carpenter. I apologize to any actual carpenters out there who take offense to that, but or to me calling myself one. Or I hope that you can be appreciative that I'm trying to add structural integrity to something so silly. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I might fill in a couple of these leaves. Although that's always something I can come back to on a work break or at another time now that it's started. Maybe that'll be something I do after work on the couch. It's always nice to have simple things that you can do for work breaks or relaxing times. Oh, I could be adding some more butterfly stickers right now. Oh, now that I've thought of it, I think I kind of have to. I'm gonna stick this nice heart-shaped one right here. Beyond some of my writing, but that's okay. And another circle one right there. Ooh. I wonder if there's a way I can... No, that would have been too great. If I could fit this strandy sort of one on my globe somehow. Oh well, I'll find somewhere for that to go. I'm gonna put another one of these heart ones with this guy to brighten up his little window. And that's time, so I'm just gonna grab one more big butterfly to stick right there. There. That has some nice butterfly flow to it. Although, yeah, I do have to add one right here. There. Now it's perfect. Thank you for joining me as always, and I hope to see you next time. And I hope you have fun with your journal in between. Bye for now.